Hi, this is Pain and Pleasure by Judas Priest. So let's go over it from the intro. It's basically an open G, open D, and open G string, and you just hammer on the second fret on the D and G string, and then you kind of play. You play the open A and then back to the second fret with D and G. So you open D and G, hammer on to second fret, and then you kind of pick mute on the A string once. Then you play the second fret on the D and G. The next part, just like that. So you pick the second fret, D and G, pull off, open D and G, hammer back on again. So I'm do it slowly again. Okay, and the next part, open D and G and hammer on again the second fret. And you play the third fret of your C, and you play the open G and the third fret of your B, and then you play the let's see, oh, then you play the open D chord at the last part, which is the open D, second fret of your G, third fret of your B, and second fret of your E. So far we have this from the beginning slowly. And as soon as you play that, you got to play the first fret of your B and third fret of your E string on the high E string. Play those two notes. Basically, it's a power chord on the high string. That's a C power. And slide up to the third fret. I use my pinky on the high string, just easy for me. You do the power chord and slide up and down from the first to third fret. Back to first. And after that, you got to play the second fret of your G with your middle finger. Slide up to fifth fret, and then pull off, open to G string, and then you play the third fret of your C string, A string, and just spin it a little bit, and then back to the Well, actually, I'm sorry. Instead of using my middle finger, slide up from 2nd fret to 5th fret. I should use my ring finger. It's just more comfortable that way. But you can use whatever finger you want. So again, this part, you slide up, slide back down, play the 2nd fret with your ring finger on the G string, slide up to 5th fret and pull off on the open G string. And use the same finger on the ring, you pull down on the 3rd fret of your C on the A string. Have a half step, and then you play the beginning lick again. Now the second time, you play the open D string, the last part, and you play that twice, and you put a pinky on the 3rd fret of your E string, and you play that D sus. Alright? And that's when it turns the distortion up. We'll go through that later, but let's play slowly again the intro. So after that, you gotta play, you turn the distortion up, you play this. So what I do is, it's all power chord, but it's I do a lot of slide up and down. So I personally like to use my pinky when I do my power chord, my index finger, my pinky. It's just easier that way. So what we do, we start from the 3rd fret. Basically, it's a G power chord. 3rd fret of your E and 5th fret of your A string. You play those 2 notes. You slide to the A power chord at the 5th position. And then you do, and you pick it 3 times, down, up, down. So you pick it first on the G power chord, slide up to A power chord, and then go down, up, down. And you slide your hand down. And then after that, you play the A power chord to G and slide down to G power. Open E string, mute just a little bit, and then you play the G power chord, slide back down to A power chord. Okay, so far we have this. And the next part, you start from the C power chord on the A and the D string, and you slide up to D power chord. But so once you slide up, you go down, up only just 1 time. Okay. The first one we did it on the G power chord, we do it 3 times, down, up, down. But when we play the C power chord to the D power chord, we only down, up. That's it. And you got a dead stop. No sliding. And then you play the D power chord by itself. And then you go from D to C, and then do it again. Okay, so it goes like this from the top. So it goes an open A string, and then D power chord slide to C again. So again, the whole thing. So once you play that part, it goes to a pre-chorus. You do the second fret on your D and G, and the fifth fret of your D and G, and an open G power chord. Basically, I play the G power chord, the top open G chord, the top portion, and then play the bottom portion. And then D open power chord. D open chord. And then G. The G chord is the third fret of your E string, second fret of your A. And with my ring finger on the third fret of your B string, and my pinky on the third fret of E string, we strum all those strings together. And then we do the C chord. Basically, I move my middle finger to the third fret of my A string, and my index finger on the second fret of your D string. Everything else stays the same. Alright, so the pre-chorus, so far we have this. Second fret, D and G. G chord. D. G. C. And then we do this part. That's the same beginning lick. What I do is I play open D and G string, hammer on to second fret with D and G, and then 3 times down. And then you play the lick from the C power chord, slide up to D. Back to. I'm sorry. Pre-chorus again, second fret with D and G, fifth fret with D and G, G chord again, open G, D, G, C sus. Next part is the chorus. So that part, the chorus goes like this. You play the open A power chord, down, up, down, up, down, and then you pause a second, and then you play this B as a G over B. Basically, is your index finger on the second fret of your A string, and your ring finger and the pinky on the third fret of your B and E string, and you strum those strings together. So. Open D power chord, open A power chord, and you play open A string and then the third fret of the E. And then you play, I put my ring finger on the third fret, and you play the open E string and the third fret of your A together. And you hammer on to the first fret with your index finger. Play 3 times and play the G. And then I'll do this and I'll play the third fret of your E to open E. Back to third fret of your E. Open again. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So, and I'll Play the F power chord again. Slide up to G power chord. And then play the open A power chord. So again, the chorus goes like this. I'm sorry. G over B, D, A, do it again. A, so that's pretty much the whole song to Pain and Pleasure by Judas Priest. And then of course there's a solo, which we may cover it in a separate video when I get around to figure it out. So thanks for watching.